This year, Nelson County High School began the journey towards deeper learning. The faculty served as the architects of the graduate profile, and their work had a great impact on teaching and learning at Nelson County High School. As a direct result of their efforts, new and improved collaborative practices made way for instructional shifts in every classroom. While many schools across the state have engaged in creating a graduate profile for their students, our process was unique. If we were to create real change, we wanted it to be a collaborative, teacher-led movement. Along the way, our school experienced holistic changes in culture as well as academics. To begin, we took teachers out of their comfort zones by creating work groups that included at least one member from every department. That way, we could ensure that all perspectives were included at every table where the graduate profile work took place. Once the groups identified the skills they value in our graduates, we held a skills showcase with wows and wonders. Then the faculty worked together to narrow down the key skills that everyone could agree upon and finalized our graduate profile. Once the graduate profile was created, the real work began. The leadership team facilitated ongoing graduate profile process that mirrored the Plan, Do, Study, Act model through our PLCs. Having PLCs during common planning might be great for individual departments, but it's not so great if you want to operate outside of a vacuum. So, in an attempt to break down silos, we had each teacher complete a self-assessment of their knowledge and ability as it relates to the individual graduate profile skills. Each teacher identified 2 skill areas in which they might struggle and 2 in which they believe they excel. The leadership team matched strengths with weaknesses, and each teacher observed 2 of their colleagues from other subject areas who excelled where they might struggle. All PLCs debriefed utilizing the peer observation tool, which focused on creating a space for student-centered learning. This practice opened up avenues for cross-curricular collaboration, not to mention that our faculty deepened their respect for the work their colleagues do every day. The teachers truly led each other through this process. Before the actual performance assessment planning could begin, we had to create common language and expectations around each skill as a faculty. Teachers worked together to tune existing rubrics, or in some cases, create completely new ones. A few PLCs were reserved for collaborative planning of performance assessments. The teachers, led by our instructional coach, focused on creating learning experiences that were student-centered and encompassed at least one graduate profile skill, although the assessment often allowed students the opportunity to practice more than one skill from the graduate profile. Next, the Critical Friends protocol was used in each PLC until every teacher received quality feedback from his or her colleagues. During this time, presenters were supported through what proved to be a new process for some, and the other group members were exposed to new ideas and different ways of thinking. After performance assessments were implemented in each classroom, each teacher debriefed, provided student work samples, and their PLC utilized the Analyzing Student Work protocol. Finally, each teacher reflected on the process and was challenged to extend and amend as they move forward. Effectively, every teacher will have observed 4 colleagues, utilized multiple protocols for feedback and analysis, and have designed, implemented, and analyzed 2 performance assessments by the end of this school year. The faculty's continued demonstration of collaboration and leadership has allowed each of them to grow professionally. In addition, each student in our school will have practiced skills from our graduate profile through 2 performance assessments in each of their 7 classes this year. This process has been invaluable for every person at Nelson County High School. It has been hard, but it has been worth the instructional and academic struggle. But don't take my word for it. You can hear from our teacher leaders and some of their students about the graduate profile process at Nelson County High School.
Very exciting process this year because we've got to watch not only our students grow in these 21st century skills, but we've got to watch the faculty grow as well. So we've had a lot of teachers who have stepped out of their comfort zone and they have tried new things, whether it's digital literacy, whether it's global competencies, different areas that they may not have felt so comfortable to do unless they had a professional learning community that they felt safe in.
Okay, so I did a project-based learning initiative that focused on preserving the stories of local military veterans in digital form. And I had 3 major benchmarks throughout the project. The first was creating the veteran profile and actually conducting an interview of the veteran. The second benchmark was a storyboard, creating a storyboard for the production. And the last benchmark was actually creating the digital story.
And so I was looking for opportunities to have students write for real-world purposes to real-world audiences to try and get things done.
What I liked the most was that I was able to go and observe other teachers that had a better grasp of communication and global awareness.
So my favorite part of my HACCP analysis with my students was seeing them have an aha moment.
So just to start off, I could not have completed this project without the help from my colleagues. The first step was when I was getting ready to do and kick them into the research part. I observed the U.S. history class and the teacher was using a hyperdoc, and I thought, how perfect is that?
I think it's really important as teachers that we are able to show the students the why behind the lesson that we teach. And this gave me the perfect opportunity to do that, to take something that is so real to the food science industry and show them that yes, we are using this on a daily basis. There's companies in your community who are utilizing this, and I think that it makes them more educated consumers.
Alright, so what our project was, we had to find a different location for the Cleveland Browns, who have been struggling in the NFL recently. And so what we had to do was we had to pick a team that we could relocate in the AFC and a team that could be the Cleveland Browns in the NFC. And we had to look at the demographics of the certain city.
This one meant something to us. We actually got to pick the bill for a certain purpose. It wasn't just set for us for a grade. It was meant to be heard. It was meant to be deciphered through and made sure that we actually know what we were talking about. And it actually went towards something into them making the decision for or against the bill.
So what we've done in the past is been basic. You've had a textbook and you got to search through it and you got to get everything out of it, and it's one definite answer. But with this project, you can form an opinion. Well, not necessarily opinion, but you can have different answers, and it's unique to see why everyone chose theirs.
This project is different from like your average English class because you have an audience that's not just your teacher. You have somebody else listening, and it's also a connection to the real world, and it deals with like civics and politics. And so it's less of a write-in on demand that only I'm going to read, and more of a getting a chance to actually put your writing to do something.
This time was special because we actually got to talk to the senator and the representative that we were actually writing to, and it was great to hear that they actually read what we wrote.
To us that they respected our work. It wasn't just, oh yeah, cool, you're here. Let's give you a tour and send you home. No, like he said, we actually sat down in a caucus room and we talked about certain bills that were maybe tabled or that were being brought up today in the Senate, and it was just really cool to know that they cared and actually wanted to know our opinion because we are the citizens, we are the next generation, and we're trying to make a difference starting now.
Well, it has been a phenomenal experience for all of us here at Nelson County. Every graduate who leaves Nelson County High School skills that they need to know whenever they are out in the real world, and so it's been very beneficial for them. They've learned a lot through this process. It's been interesting that they've been able to watch the teachers also learn and grow through this process. When we were going into classrooms and teachers were observing other classrooms to see what students were doing in there and how they were learning the graduate profile skills, students would comment that it was really cool that they were in there watching them and they were taking it back to their classroom. So not only have our students grown, but our teachers have grown as well. And it's made a big impact on learning here at Nelson County. But it's also made a big impact on our culture here at Nelson County. And so we're very proud of implementing it this year, and the way that students and staff have just taken it and run with it. It's been very positive.